Thank you, Madam Speaker. I had the pleasure of spending the last couple of months traveling around Manitoba and Winnipeg, but also especially northern Manitoba, and I was very concerned about what I heard there, especially in communities like Flin Flon and Thompson that are facing major job losses in mining. We here in the south benefit every day from northern resources like hydro, lumber, and minerals, and northern Manitoba has enormous potential for development, but this potential is being squandered by this government as it was by the NDP before it. We traveled to Thompson, and people there are optimistic but frustrated because while Manitoba still has untold and untapped mineral riches, the provincial government appears to have written off the north. It will take 10 years to develop the next new mine, but prospectors need to find it first, and this government has not only cancelled exploration assistance, prospectors can't even get permits. Can the Premier explain why his government is choking off growth in the north by cancelling exploration assistance and failing to even release permits to prospectors?
The Honourable Minister for Growth, Enterprise and Trade.
Madam Speaker, I'm certainly glad the member asked that question because I just got back last night from the world's largest mining convention in Toronto, where Manitoba had a very good presence there. And represented from countries all across the world, mining companies, explorers. Our Manitoba reception on Sunday night was full to the max of companies that want to invest in Manitoba. Perhaps the member can get on side. There is untold riches in North that will be discovered, are being discovered these days, and will be tapped into in the coming years.
Order.
Unlike the previous government who did everything they could to discourage natural resource harvest, we encourage it.
The Honourable Leader of the Second Opposition on a supplementary question.
Madam Speaker, the Minister had to travel to Toronto because the conference here in Manitoba was cancelled. The Minister's evasion of this question is sadly predictable, Madam Speaker. The Business Council of Manitoba has singled out this government's failings on the mining file. In their most recent budget recommendation, they said, and I quote, "Last year, we recommended the government improve its internal operations with respect to mining and mineral resource development. For several years, exploration and development in Manitoba has languished. Manitoba's share of national expenditures for prospecting and exploration continues to decrease. Unfortunately, we must repeat that recommendation this year. Is the bottleneck that the Premier is personally signing off on these permits? Why is this taking so long?"
The Honourable Minister of Growth, Enterprise and Trade.
Madam Speaker, we'll make sure the member gets an invitation to next year's Central Canada Mining Convention, which last year had a record attendance in the middle of November at the Victoria Inn in Winnipeg. I'm sorry you missed it. Madam Speaker, the Flin Flon Snow Lake Greenstone Belt is the home of the largest paleoproterozoic region in the world, which means it has the most copper, gold, and zinc reserves anywhere in the world, and we're working with companies to develop those.
The Honourable Leader of the Second Opposition on a final supplementary.
Madam Speaker, the Northern Prospector recently made it clear that Manitoba, and I quote, "does have world-class nickel and copper zinc deposits and comparatively more abundant gold deposits and more potential for gold than Saskatchewan. But, quote, Manitoba's junior exploration is under $6 million, which will not even be a tenth of Saskatchewan, and, quote, companies have picked up and gone elsewhere. The main problem has been the lack of or of timely permitting approvals for exploration, which is entirely the provincial government's responsibility." They go on to say, at current levels of exploration in Manitoba, it would take 250 years to have a discovery rate that could sustain the industry. This was sent in a letter to this government, and they received no response. Nelson House has a partnership and has been unable to get a permit. Why has this government abandoned mining in Manitoba and abandoned northern Manitoba?
The Honourable First Minister.
I don't know about the discovery rate, Madam Speaker, but the fact is the member needs to discover the problems with the federal Liberal government's approach to resource development in this country. They're not a secret to anyone who's trying to create jobs in Western Canada.
That's right.
The federal Liberal government will go to bat for a Quebec company that perjures itself and libels and involves itself in bribery, but they won't go to bat for getting a pipeline built in Western Canada or across to the east.
That's right.
The fact of the matter is this member actually supports the LEAP manifesto of the NDP. which says leave it in the ground. He actually supports a higher tax on heating homes. He actually supports a higher tax on traveling to the north, commuting to work, a higher tax on tourism, Madam Speaker. He supports a high federal carbon tax on the people of northern Manitoba, and he is against development in the north, and he has the federal government to make sure he has his backup with their non-support for resource development in the north. Madam Speaker, when it comes to mining, the PC government gets the mines built, and the NDP and the Liberals give Manitobans the shaft.